Hey guys, it's Kevin here, and this is a video response to tdcmoncton, who asked me a question with regards to, on my Busan Kevin channel. He put a video response on my Morning in Japan video. I'll put a link to his video down here in the sidebar. He asked me, when I made my move to Asia, what were some of the biggest hurdles I faced, and not administrative, not like getting the job and stuff like that, but cultural and other things. For me, when I first went to Korea, I think the biggest hurdle was that I didn't know anything about Korea. Now, I'm not in Korea now, I'm in Japan, but when I first went to Asia, I lived in Korea. I lived there for almost 6 years, and I'm going on 2 in Japan now. When I first went to Korea, I didn't know anything about Korea. I grew up in Eastern Canada, which is very homogenous. Yeah, I mean, I'd never met a Korean person. I'd never heard Korean language. I'd never eaten Korean food. So I didn't know anything. I mean, I bought a Lonely Planet book and a phrase book, but the phrase book was kind of hard to use because I had never heard the language. So I landed in Korea, and I think my utter ignorance to anything. So I got there and I remember being just blown away because it was so absolutely alien and to anything I had known. And before I moved to Korea, I was living in Moncton, New Brunswick, which is, what, a population of maybe 100,000? And, so I end up in the hustle and bustle of Asia. And, yeah, so I mean, just not being able to talk to anyone. I remember the first time I went to a convenience store, I had to buy like groceries for my apartment, and I went to there was some big chain supermarkets fairly far away from my place, but there was a lot of mom and pop supermarkets. And I remember going to the mom and pop supermarket and just looking around. I just didn't know what the hell any of the food was. And I remember buying things but not really knowing what they were, and doing this horrible experimental cooking with these things. And yeah. I remember going to restaurants, by myself, because when I first went there, I didn't know anyone, and just like looking around and like looking at the menu, and I didn't know how to read Korean when I first got there, and the menu all in Korean with no pictures. I don't know what the hell anything is, and I'd look at the food, I'd see pictures, but I didn't know what the hell it was either. So, I just like look at it, maybe, I remember times seeing someone with a plate of food at another table, me just kind of pointing, going, I'll have one of those. Yeah, so not knowing about the food, not knowing the language, those were the big hurdles. Then eventually, after a short time there, I met some other foreigners who were more experienced and had been living there for a long time, and they really were able to help me and teach me a lot of stuff, a lot of things. Oh yeah, also the fact I went there to become a teacher, but I'd been working in the IT industry before I went to Korea to teach, so I'd never taught before, so that's a whole other... I made vlogs about that. Now, as far as my... crap, I'm just trying to open up a bottle of sweat. There's a cultural hurdle. We have to drink sweat in Asia. Actually, this is a sports drink. Yeah, my transition to Japan was much easier for a lot of reasons. First of all, the whole concept of teaching didn't frighten me because I'd been a teacher. At that point, I'd been a teacher in Korea for about 5.5 years, and I also then went to grad school in Canada and taught in Canadian schools. So there was no fear of the teaching thing. Also, I had, in that time, married a Japanese woman. So my wife's Japanese, and she's from this area. So she had taken care of a lot of the little things, like, getting my cell phone and finding an apartment, a place to live, and all that kind of stuff. I think my transition, the thing I found tough here to get used to in Japan, first of all, was how by the book Japanese are. They're very by the book. They never deviate from the book. It's like that in everything. In Korea, often... being a foreigner, you could get away with a lot of things just because Koreans would maybe, ignore the rules or sidestep the rules because it was too much of a pain in the ass to really deal with you as a foreigner. But here, again, the Japanese seem more by the book, and even though you are a foreigner and it's going to be a huge pain in the ass, they still go by the book and they follow the rules. I can remember getting a membership at a Korean gym years ago, and I didn't have my ID card with me. And the guy was telling me, you need my ID card. to get my gym membership, and I kind of babbled, oh, come on, come on, come on. And eventually they're like, oh, you know, because I couldn't speak Korean well, they couldn't speak English well. They're like, let's just get this foreigner out of our way and just give him his gym membership, even if he doesn't have an ID card. I remember when I first came to Japan without my alien, before I got my alien registration card and my foreigner ID card, trying to get a gym membership. Nope, hells no. I tried it at a few places. They're just like, no card, no service. Sorry, you need your ID card. And you know, I tried to ask them to bend the rules and this and that, but nope. So yeah, I guess that's. But it was much easier this time around. I think again that's just because I had a lot of experience in Asia already. So there you go. Some of my hurdles. In Korea, when I first got there, the language and the food. Japan, people who stick to the rules too much. Alright, tdcmoncton, I hope that was a cool video. I mean, as in, like, I hope that answered your question reasonably well. And see you later. I don't shave. All hairy. Alright, see you later, guys. Kevin here, drinking a sweat.